I'm a member of Cincinnati City Council. Cincinnati native, lived here all my life, went to public schools, grew up in the community of Avondale. I currently live in the community of North Avondale. People make that distinction, I generally don't. And I guess that's pretty much it. I'm married. Well, I guess there's several. I think the traditional thing is, the little house with the picket fence and that sort of thing. But for me, it's the matter of actually enjoying the freedom to be who you can be, produce whatever you can produce. Be free to do your own thing within the confines of the law. That works for me. I don't know that I ever had an American dream, so to speak. There were things I thought I might like to do at some point in my life, but I don't know that I ever dreamed that I would have this humongous country estate somewhere and be filthy rich and all that sort of thing. I think that for me it was, for a long time it was a matter of just kind of day by day. Probably by the time I was in high school, I began to develop some ideas about what I really like to do, with one exception. I always knew I wanted to be involved in politics. And I thought that someday I'd like to hold elective office, and that kind of got put on hold because of the kind of work I did. But when I was finally able to do it, I did it. And so if that's the American dream, I guess I'm living mine. But no, I never really had a traditional American dream. I don't think so. Things I wanted to do, but not necessarily that traditional American dream that people talk about it. And probably because during the time I grew up, the future wasn't necessarily guaranteed, not that it ever is or ever was, but the 1960s when I came of age was a really turbulent time in American history. And so I never gave an awful lot of thought to, quote, the American dream. I did give a lot of thought to want to do my part to change conditions, to try to affect, especially the environment where I live. I think you do that mostly through politics. I think I had some effect as a police officer. But I don't think I ever truly enjoyed believing that I could pursue, quote, the American dream. I think we're all products of our environment, our experiences. I just have difficulty getting my mind around the American dream, and I guess that's the problem for me. I believe that America, and Cincinnati in particular, has been very good to me. I'm extremely grateful for all the opportunities I've had and for the many, many good people who've come and been a part of my life. And those things work for me. If that's the American dream, I have lived it and I am living it. But if the American dream is the attainment of, vast riches and that sort of thing, then no. But I have to be honest and tell you that aside from wishing I could win the lottery, I've never really tried to be rich. So I don't know if that was ever a possibility for me or not. For me, it's always been about public service. I was always taught that you need to try to leave the world a little bit better than you found it. I'm trying to do that. If that's the American dream, I'm in. I believe that I try to live in such a way that when my time is up, I know I will not have been perfect, but maybe the Lord will say, hey, there's some people worse than you, you're all right. If that's the American dream, I'm in. But otherwise, I really don't know. I really don't know. But in terms of the city of Cincinnati, I believe that the forward progress I believe the city has been making up until very recently is important. I think people who were forward thinkers who came before me tried to leave a city that people like myself could enjoy. I would like to be one of those forward thinkers that someday somebody will look back and say, you know, Wendell and that crew he was with, they did a pretty good job for this city. But I've enjoyed seeing the banks become developed. I've enjoyed seeing Smale Riverfront Park come online. I've loved seeing Washington Park happen. I'm really excited about what's about to happen perhaps in some of our neighborhoods if we can keep the momentum going. I'm really happy about the streetcar and hopefully the economic development that's going to bring to the city. There's some good things that have happened. We're in a different political climate right now, so I don't really know how much of that progress we're going to be able to build on, but my hope is we can keep it going. And if those are the kind of things that are the American dream, then I've had a chance to live it and be a part of it. For me, the important part simply is to be able to have a voice in what happens around me. This is my home. I love Cincinnati. And I think that whatever happens here, I just like that opportunity to say, hey, I got an idea. Somebody listen. And I have that opportunity now. And hopefully I'm really making the best of that opportunity. So, you know, if it's the freedom to pursue happiness, I'm doing it. And I'm really pleased about it. And I do feel a lot of freedoms that I know people like myself never enjoyed. So in that regard, I think that even if I don't necessarily think I'm living the dream, people who came ahead of me think I am. So I'm okay with that. But my eye remains on the future, and my belief is that things can be better. And as I've said, I want to do my part to get there. Go for it. Go for it. Whatever that dream is, go for it. And I would say divorce yourself from people who I call dream stealers. You know, if you've ever said, I wish I could do, I think I can be, and somebody says you can't. You don't need them. You can fail all by yourself. You don't need any help. So, you know, get with people who believe in you, who are going to challenge you and push you to do the things that you think you're capable of. But it starts with you. You got to believe it. So if you got a dream, go for it. The worst thing that happens is you don't get there. But what's worse than that is that you never tried. So if you got a dream, go for it.